Hi, this is Sarah with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this fun headband. This is made out of cotton yarn. It's called the Slanted Ribbed Headband, and you can make it for any size, and you can make it as narrow or as thick as you want. It's really simple, and it's one of my favorite headbands to wear and to make because it is made out of cotton, so it's perfect for exercise and jogging or working out at the gym. It's also great for just popping on and running to the store. And depending on what colors you make, this one is made with yellow and then a little bit of variegated cotton, and then I ended with orange. You can do all one color of cotton, or you can do as many colors as you want. You can do variegated. It's really simple and easy to make. All you need is you're going to need your eye crochet hook. You're going to need some cotton yarn. This is peaches and cream, sugar and cream. You can use, I love this cotton. Any kind of cotton can be used for this. And I really recommend cotton, although you can make it out of a worsted weight. Number 4 in acrylic yarn, which would be just fine if you're not going to use it for exercise. I really like the cotton because when I'm at the gym and I'm walking on the treadmill and I'm sweating, I can bring it down and wipe the sweat off my forehead, and then when I get home I can toss it in the laundry along with the rest of my gym clothes, and it washes up just fine. Now, I was asked if the color runs on these. I really have not had any issue with any of the colors running, but there are a lot of bright colors now, so there might be some issues. And if you do, just put a tiny bit of white vinegar, just a tiny bit, in the wash, because white vinegar helps to set colors, and so you can do that if you're worried about the colors running. But I have not had any issues. I've made them in navy blue, red, white, and blue, white, green, and these colors. And I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. Oh, I've just made tons of these. And I make them, and people go, oh, I like those. And so I just give them to them because they're just so easy to make. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, you just need an eye hook and some cotton yarn. Now I'm going to pull the screen down so that you can see my hands. And you're going to find this is a really easy pattern. Now make sure you take a minute and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, the first thing you need to do is chain 13 chains. And our whole pattern along the whole way is going to be 12 single crochets. Now, this is where you need to decide if you want your headband to be thicker or thinner. Let me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And let me get my little measuring thing out here for you. And this is going to be 12, and it's going to measure about, oh, that's centimeters. I'll say that's not right. It's going to measure about 4 centimeters, but it does shrink up a little when you get it going. Not 4 centimeters, 4 inches. Now, this is where you can decide how wide across you want your headband to be. A really wide one is great in the winter, and a more narrow one is great in the summer when you don't want it over your ears. Okay, so the first row, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then 1 single crochet in each chain across. And this whole project, we're going to be using single crochets. Let me roll out my yarn a little more. Alrighty. 1 single crochet in each single crochet across will give you 12 single crochets. Now, if you are a tight crocheter, remember when you chain that original 13 not to chain too tightly or you won't be able to get your hook through. But I have a tendency to be a little bit of a tight crocheter. Some of my friends call me a loose hooker, just for fun. So anyway, now on this project we've got 12 single crochets. We're going to chain one, and chain one here and throughout this project does not count as a stitch. It's basically a turning chain. And now we're going to chain in the back loops only. And if you look at the top of your yarn, you have a front loop and a back loop. And we're going to be stitching only in the back loops, and this is where we're going to get those ridges. Let me pull this one off my head. This is where these ridges come from. Okay, so the first row, working in the back loops only, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first single crochet. So there's 1 and 2. And then we'll single crochet all the way across, only working in these back loops. See how I put it through the back loop? Now, by working this in ridges like this in the back loops, it makes it pretty stretchy. The pattern itself is written for about an 18 to 20 inch head. And I know that's a 2-inch difference. And I put that there because it kind of depends on if you are a tight crocheter or not. And you can measure as you go, of course. Measure your project. If it's measuring too long, don't make as many rows as it says. And if it's measuring too short, make more. Okay, so we put 2 single crochets in the first single crochet, and then I did 1 single crochet all the way across, and then this last single crochet, last 2 single crochets, we're going to stitch them together. Oops, I stuck that in the wrong place. There we go. And how we do that, we have 1, 2 single crochets left, and how we do that is we go in the back loop only of that first one, and we pull a loop through. Then we go in the back loop only of that second one and pull a loop through, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over and you'll pull through all 3 of those loops. Chain 1 and turn. And this is how we begin to get our slant. And you'll do that every other row. Now this next row we'll be working in the back loops only here and throughout the whole project. And you'll put 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. And so basically what we will be doing is alternating our rows. So in this row with only 1 single crochet in each single crochet across. Now the next row we'll stitch it like we did row 2. And I will show you that in just a second. Now another really good yarn that I like to work with for cotton, it's called Symphonia. I've only seen it at regular local yarn stores, but I saw it at Hobby Lobby the other day. And it is one of my favorite yarns to work with because it's a smooth, soft, but it also is a little thinner. So keep that into consideration. Okay, so you can see it's starting to do our little slant a little bit so that it's coming in here and it's coming out here as far as the shape. Okay, so now the next row we're going to work it like we did row 2. We're going to put 2 single crochets in the first single crochet, working in the back loops only, and then we'll do 1 single crochet in each single crochet across, working in the back loops only, until we reach the last 2 single crochets. And then in the last 2 single crochets, we'll single crochet those together, and I'll show you how to do that again. It's really quite simple once you learn the technique, but your brain says, how in the world do I crochet 2 stitches together? All right, so now we have 2 single crochets left. We go in that first one, we pull a loop through onto our hook. We go into the next one. Remember, always working in the back loops only on this project. And we have 1, 2, 3 loops. We're going to loop over, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops, and chain 1. And you can start to see that in our project that we're doing that it's getting crooked. Basically, we're going kilter, off kilter. And we'll do this for as many rows as needed. You can change colors anywhere in your project. You can change colors throughout your whole thing. You can stripe it. You can do whatever you want. In this one that I made, that I was wearing, I started with the orange. I added a little bit of variegated in the center for fun, and then I finished with the yellow. And I thought it just made a fun little headband. I actually wore this to the gym this morning. So, let me get one over here that I've already got started, because the question that I had concerning this headband was, how do you sew the ends together? And here I've made one. I haven't weaved in my end here just yet. And here I made one. I started with the orange, and then I worked my way up this way. I'm going to lay it this way so you can see how, see how it slants all the way up. And the question I had was, if it's slanting two different directions, how do you sew them together? And basically, you can put a twist in it if you want to also. If you want it to have a twist, you can do that. But for this project, we're doing it straight. And it's really easier than you think to sew them together. Also, when you're working on this, there is no front and no back. Just make sure when you weave in your ends, you do it on the same side if you change colors. Okay, so let me show you how you do this. You've got a slanted end where we started, and you're ending on a slanted end. So you're going to put those two slanted ends together just like that. And we didn't weave off our end, or cut off our end and weave in. We left it on because this is how we're going to close our headband. Now, remember, we have 12 stitches, so you want to make sure you do 12 across. And what you're going to do, pull that there. And at this point, we're not worried about single crocheting in the back loops. We're just hooking it together. And the way, and since it's being hooked together, basically sewn together, I want to make sure it's good and sturdy. And so I go through both loops of this side and both loops of the first single crochet on that side, and I just do a single crochet. And we'll do this all the way across. And that'll give us a nice sturdy headband that's not going to come apart on us. And I wanted to go ahead and do single crochet because it kind of goes with the, you can do a slip stitch if you want across, but I wanted to try to keep it as ridgy as possible, I guess is the way to put it, so that it looks like it still has a ridge. And of course, this is the back. We want to try to keep it as pretty as possible, but if it, it doesn't, it doesn't. It happens. And, but I do like closing it with a single crochet stitch straight across, like this. 12 single crochet stitches. Just like that. Now, the question I had was, can I just use a needle and thread and sew it closed? And of course you can. And that works just fine. I just don't really like doing it that way. All right, so let me cut this off. There we go. And we'll pull this through. Tie that off. And so we've single crocheted 12 single crochets across, making sure we go through both edges, and then you'll pull it open like this, and you can see it gives you still a little bit of a ridge, and it makes it nice and sturdy. And then we'll weave these ends in with your needle, and that makes a nice, fun, stretchy headband. Now, to make sure that it fits, when you get to the point where you're going to sew this together, go ahead and measure. And then you can add rows or take away rows if needed. Bring it back up. I'm gonna pop my headband back on just real quick. You can see how easy it is to pop on. I put the back in the back. I got this little color part right here. You can stripe it. You can do it in variegated. Any kind of cotton will work. So I hope that answered your question on how to put the two ends together. And I hope you make a bunch of these, because this is my most favorite headband. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.